Let's open up our editor, and now we're going to apply the functionality within jQuery in order to move our web page. So we're no longer going to be relying on the defaults within the HTML. We're going to be using jQuery to move our page around. And the really neat thing about jQuery is it's got this really cool animate functionality. So let's select out our HTML and select out our body. So selecting it by the tags, so much like what we did with CSS where we had our classes, we had our IDs, we can select by tags, and we're going to use a built-in function in jQuery called animate. So it performs a custom animation of a set of CSS properties. So basically it updates the CSS in a calculated fashion, all built in with jQuery. So what we're going to use is animate, and it's got several properties here that we can set. So we can do scroll, and we're going to do scroll top. So you see that when we're presented with the options there, we've got some options there to scroll it to the top, and we're going to scroll it to this value. So probably best bet is to create another container, and maybe I can just call it scroll to or something like that. And now, instead of using all of this long function, because right now this one is going to contain that value that we saw, so all we do to do is specify scroll to and the position that we want to scroll it to. We could have also entered in the numeric value, so we could do 108 or whatever, but this way it's going to be more dynamic and it's going to actually perform that functionality. And also we can provide properties where we can set how quickly the scroll happens. So we can animate it, we can set it 1000 is 1 second, 500 is half a second. So let's do the scroll. We're going to keep it relatively slow, and we can adjust the speed as needed. So let's take a look at this and see how this looks like now. So we could get rid of that, and now we see whenever we go to the sections, it's doing this really nice scrolling capability. So see that we're moving the page, and it's a much nicer effect than when we were just simply clicking it. That the user is presented with the fact that it's actually scrolling and moving up and down, and that they can see if they want to see the page above it, they can simply scroll to it. So much nicer presentation to the users than what we had by originally. So another thing that we should do here is add in a prevent default. So with elements, they already have basic built-in functionality. So this is why we pass that event object in, and we're going to use another method in order to prevent the default action, which is on a hyperlink to click through that anchor text. So this, I'm not sure if we're able to see much of a difference, but it should smooth things out a little bit and present that content in a little bit better fashion. Instead of having that kind of double scrolling to it, that removed the default action of the hyperlink. So lastly, what else we wanted to do is whenever we're on our mobile, or we've got the smaller version, we want to be able to click it and we want this window to close. So that's coming up in the next lesson.